Alright, it's your ye olde friend Atma here. Today I'm going to be talking about Temur Tower. It should be called Barely Temur Tower, but here's the thing. There was a discussion that spawned up on Reddit, and by discussion I mean a couple brief back and forths. These back and forths were effectively saying, how can you make Temur Tower in Duels when you don't have Attune with the Aether? And that's fair, because Attune with the Aether is vital for it in Standard. You get 4 energy off it with 1 tower instead of 2, and you fix your mana. And this does not exactly do that, but the thing is this Temur Tower deck actually wasn't spawned from Standard Temur Tower. It was actually spawned from a deck that I didn't make a deck tech for called Team Energy. And the whole thing here is that this was an aggro deck with all the usual, Long Tusk Cub, Voltaic Brawler type stuff that makes a ton of sense in energy decks. Rogue Refiner, Whirler Virtuoso to take advantage, 1 Confiscation Coup on top to take a giant Ulamog if it comes to that, and Elder Deep Fiend. This is a creature deck, and it's like an aggro-y mid-range deck. And the thing is this deck actually drew quite a few cards. Even though this is an 0-4 in an aggro deck, this is really just to have some play against control. If they kill all of your energy creatures and strand all your energy, you get to draw some cards, and then they feel bad about killing an 0-4. So this is kind of a deck that I was working on, and it's pretty good. I ended up making Sultai Energy, which was better just because it had planeswalkers and stuff. But I basically was okay, so Standard has a Temur Energy deck now that uses Dynavolt Tower, and I was wondering if I could use the energy I was making in that deck to make another deck. And this is actually somewhat of an incomplete list, but I've been talking about it. I've been having so much fun with it lately. And the funny thing is I actually cut one of these, even though there's 4 of them in the Standard version, just because, you got to make do with what you got, and you need to fit a lot of weird stuff in. Because you don't have Attune with the Aether, you really need to main deck Whirler Virtuoso and stuff. Because you don't have 4 Dynavolt Towers, you need to have Trophy Mage to find it. And the funny thing is yeah, Trophy Mage is a dead 2/2 for 3 if you already have both Dynavolt Towers, but that actually doesn't matter that much. It is a flaw in the deck. I actually tried putting the vehicle that fixes mana in here, Cultivator's Caravan, but I didn't like it. A lot of people's version of Temur Tower on Duels uses more planeswalkers or not more planeswalkers, but more counter spells to be in line more with the Standard version. This has to do a lot of different stuff though, because you got to think about what you're missing. You're missing 4 Attune with the Aether, so you need more sources of energy. And that's these creatures. You have 3 main deck Torrential Gearhulks in Standard, and you only get 1 here. To make up for this, you've effectively I've put in this, which is Mechanized Production. So it's very important that you make this card resolve when it matters. And the funny thing is it seems so bad because it only has 3 targets. In reality, it has 4 targets because you can put it on Thopters as well, but really it's just Dynavolt Tower or Torrential Gearhulk. This would never, even if we had 4 copies of this, I'd still probably only run 1. This deck draws enough cards that usually you can find it and you don't really even need it, but it's just so busted when it resolves. This deck is very soft to Reclamation Sage. And that's just, you're just going to have to deal with that sometimes. If somebody Rec Sages your things, and that's, that might be it. But there's always a foil to pretty much every deck. And at this point, this is my Aether 9th Aether Revolt deck, and I avoided doing vehicles again. I didn't do black-red vehicles and Mardu vehicles again. I didn't do Boros vehicles. I skipped a lot of decks. So when you're getting this deep, you're not necessarily going to get the best decks, but this is pretty good. This does win games at rank 40, no problem. It does lose some games. Radiant Flames is another thing you need green for. The funny thing is there's really only 2 things you use green for And you can even put like Tireless Tracker in there if you want. And that's another target for Mechanized Production is clues. I've actually been deck and stoned and put Mechanized Production on clues, and I actually like that. But this is the arrangement I'm going to be showing you today. But I do want to say that Tireless Tracker is probably a reasonable card. I don't know what I would cut. Trophy Mage feels like the one, but I think that they're important too. So it's really tough. This list is not that flexible, but there's a little bit of room to do some stuff you want to do. This, like I said, was in the sideboard of the standard version, but we're main decking it because in duels you only get one shot at your opponent. You don't get the sideboard, so you kind of got to hedge against everything in the main. Lands, I mean, there's a lot of green sources off these dual lands because you don't really want to draw them, but it's fine if they come off dual lands. And then Aether Hub, of course. Hello, little kitten. Are you on the desk now? I'm doing a video. Well, I'm going to do some games just to show you that this isn't that crappy. This is basically a less burny blue-red Dynavolt Tower deck that just is doing green because I've already done blue-red Dynavolt Tower deck techs before, and this is actually pretty fun to win with, but it does win slower because it has less burn. Well, hope you enjoy it. There was a time when I just played games and uploaded them, but first two games I tried here just didn't matter. They weren't good games. They weren't interesting. You know, my opponent in the last game was just discarding cards because he forgot he missed land drops, so there's no real point in you seeing that game. But here we are in game one against, I don't know, probably vampires with vehicles, something stupid. Vampires is a really fun aggro deck. I haven't really played it for a while, but I still think it's one of the more fun decks in this game. Okay, so we're looking at maybe strictly black-red. I think he's got a Fatal Push or a Shock here, which Rogue Refiner is going to eat like a boss. That's probably the incorrect land to play. Oh, okay, so this probably, well, I don't know yet. I would imagine he's playing a Dynavolt Tower deck, but if he's playing Grixis Planeswalkers, it'll be much more difficult for us without actually having a Dynavolt Tower in hand. And that's a dead card. We're going to play this in case we want to draw. I feel like this will die. But probably at end of turn, when he sees we play nothing, he'll just kill it. Draw. Alright, we're going to get a glimpse. Call the Bloodline. Alright, so I feel like he's a burn deck, because that deck usually likes to discard Alms of the Veins and things like that. I'm going to Glimmer of Genius into possible Spell Shrivel and just see if we can draw. Confiscation Coup is usually great in a matchup that has Dynavolt Towers, which this deck very well may. I feel like he has a Spell Shrivel here. Nope. Harness Lightning's not usually good against him. Alright. Trophy Mage is good. Double Trophy Mage even. I feel like we gotta leave up the Scatter to the Winds. Ooh. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Trophy Mage now, because now he'll know that we have Dynavolt Tower in hand, and as a result he may want to leave up a counterspell for it next turn, which means he won't just ram a Planeswalker. But he might board wipe, which I care about way less at this point. I would rather, if he wanted to board wipe and kill these two things and let me resolve the Dynavolt Tower, that's fine. If it was Yahenni's expertise into Liliana, that would be much more annoying. I might actually Confiscation Coup that, because I actually like getting that card. Especially out of the hands of the deck that uses it better than me. He may be on a Metallic Rebuke here, which I can't pay for currently. Shock. I kind of want to just take this. I'll let him draw if he wants. Alms. Called that. Shielded Aether Thief will be a nice thing to have sitting there in case I need to draw cards at some point. Alright, I'm going to Trophy Mage. I guess post-combat. I'm going to leave up the Scatter to the Winds for the turn. Yep. Face. I would rather scatter Alms of the Vein, incidentally. He's left. Whatever, we'll play it out. Can't skip every game. Fatal Push. That's fine. This wasn't a particularly spectacular game anyway. He did miss some land. But he did draw a million cards. I mean, I definitely think he lost, but okay. Do I care about that? I guess I do. At this point, we get energy. It's just basically dead. Alright, we'll try game 2, see if it's, you know, something else. Doop-de-doop-de-doop. Got him. Crash. Alright, game 2. Had a guy quit on us. He didn't like his 4-land enough. Grixis burn deck's pretty good. I think that we're favored against it, but you never know. We don't have any ways to gain life, but I think that when they have to redirect their damage to our creatures, we start gaining the advantage. This is like an amazing hand, aside from the fact that I don't have any land. Go first. Fuck. This is more or less the same. Because we have a Trophy Mage. Jack Daxter. He must love that game. Kablamo. Usually when people see red-green, they're like, oh nice, no long tusk cub. I'm not going to get my doors blown off. But then we come with that tower, son. We might be going against an opposing tower, which means that this Confiscation Coup, once again, is insane. Because we don't have an actual blue source yet, it's pretty critical that we resolve this Dynavolt Tower as a way to generate blue mana for the time being. Like, getting a blue off the top would be nice. Him playing... Yeah, okay. That's actually concerning. Yeah, alright. This deck does kind of poorly at people going wide. Just by virtue of the fact that we only really have Radiant Flames. Usually you can just deal with this thing right away. Oh, so we're getting it. Wow, we're against a deck I have not seen in a long time, which is UR Prowess. He put this card in there for, I assume, just to be annoying and no other reason. I want to, like, Aether Hub off the top. Alright, that is a land. So I think, like... Shock. Oh, man. We'll never be able to get... Let's see, if we shock, we get 2. We Rogue Refiner, we lose 1, we get up to 3, and then we can Telling Time next turn. Or actually, we can Glimmer next turn. Okay. So we're going to do that. So more than likely die, but whatever. That's a pretty reasonable draw. I would trade with this thing in a heartbeat if I could, even though it'd be nice to take it with the coup. Yep. It's pretty rough. If he has a Titan Strength here, I think we might be dead. Mechanized Production, but just a little bit too slow for this board state. Alright, so what we're looking for here is... Whoops. Not that stuff. Definitely not that stuff. We're actually dead on board if you... Yeah, we're dead on board. We're dead on board. That's sad. But, yeah, man. Handwear Garrison, too much. Yeah, okay, well, we're not dead on board anymore. Activating that land was enough, but... Casting that was also pretty damn close. We definitely got the wrong side of this deck. Let's see here. If we do anything, do we win? Let's see. Start with this. Nope. Alright. Clearly that hand was just way too slow. That's one thing I don't like about playing control in duels, just period, is that, like, if we have the sweeper side of the deck and we play against aggro, we win, but like if we go against control, then it's like bad. You know, you need to like pack too many answers in these control decks in this game. This hand is also unbelievably slow. But I don't mind showing like weak hands necessarily. You know, I mean, showing the weakness of the deck. You know, why hide the bad parts of the deck from you? There's no point. Yeah, that's fine. I really want to get an untapped land here so I can just slam this Dynavolt Tower. Confiscation Coup, once again, will be good if he has a giant creature at some point. Alright, that was good. That was just so good. If he has Rex Sage, we're going to see another poor showing for this thing, but... Long Tusk Cub, ooh. Normally I would play Rogue Refiner, but I think that Whirler Virtuoso is better, provided I need to prevent him from hitting me with Long Tusk Cub. My plan is to take that the Confiscation Coup, the Cub, eventually, but I want him to play weirder. Actually, this is interesting. Okay, so... if I play Rogue Refiner instead, then I can leave up Shock in response to his tacking of energy, which does change things. That's an excellent draw. Means we can kill even bigger out-of-hand things, like Bristle something Hydra, whatever the hell that thing is called. Harnessed Ligahitning. Alright. Fuck. I'm gonna snap off this thing right here. My plan now is just to Long Tusk Cub with this Confiscation Coup. Hopefully he uses his energy to pump it before I do it. Hmm. All right. It's also fine. Oh, there's the Bristling Hydra. Yep. Double hexproof. I think I would activate my land and double block. Ooh, insane. Don't think so. Nope. Can't allow that. Let's see. If I make a token and make him use 3 energy, I can actually deal with this. And then I harness lightning. He does it again. And I'm okay. Now I have a Bristling Hydra. As much as I want to play that Mechanized Production, I want a Bristling Hydra way more. This Bristling Hydra is almost impossible for him to kill once I untap, I think. I really want to draw a land so I can Mechanize Production and hold up Harness Lightning. I haven't seen the Thriving Grubs Long Tusk Cub energy deck in quite a while. I certainly used to play it. Ooh. Could die at a moment's notice. I'm going to play it out. Even though this guy hates his life. That was an amazing draw. I mean, this deck is just fun. You saw some awkward draws win. Sometimes you just go like Dynavolt Tower Mechanized Production and they don't have an answer for it and you win the game. When you go against control, you got to be a little careful. I'm going to let him hit me with this thing. I don't care. Okay, sure. The only thing is if you see this clause here, it says if you have 8 or more artifacts with the same name as one another, you win the game. That's actually really good with clues, which is why I like Tireless Tracker. When you put it on Dynavolt Tower, Torrential Gearhulk, that clause never occurs ever. This situation, by the way, where I have a Mechanized Production on Dynavolt Tower is actually pretty common. I win that way about 25% of the time, probably, which is pretty high. I draw enough cards and the games go long enough, usually. I mean, if you look at my hand, like Hungry Flames, Harness Lightning, I had answers in this deck for that stupid handwear shit, but nothing doing in that game. There's certainly no way for this guy to win, even if his deck didn't suck, for sure. I mean, this is it, man. If you want to have fun and not win 100% of the games, just like 70% of the games, look no further. Temur Tower. Yeah. Bonus round. Bonus round. Just in case you're not totally convinced that playing some kind of stupid tower deck, Mechanized Production, is even worth it or fun. Bonus round. No idea what this guy's playing, but I'm going to guess it's blue-black artifacts. If it's aggro, that's okay too, because this hand is good against aggro. Yeah. I can't imagine what he would play on turn 2 that would make me use a shock before Dynavolt Towering, but it's not very many things. Probably not even Glint Sleeve Artisan. Ooh. Grixis artifacts. Usually, Grixis artifacts won't play things like Confiscation Coup, but I always play one of Confiscation Coup in Dynavolt control decks to get the edge in the mirror, at the very least. Seer's Lantern? Alright, so we're playing a Metalwork Colossus deck, which is legitimately threatening for us. There's no denying. That's a good draw, though. I'm actually thinking about just doing this now so I can see what the F I'm going to be working with. Alright, so Mechanized Production. I actually want... God, I want both of those things. I want Scatter more, but not by much. Because the Harness Lightning can actually kill Metalwork Colossus. Hopefully he plays something here. And hopefully it's not Skyship. Okay, Tezzeret, sure. I'm actually going to Baral's Expertise this turn. This pause leads me to believe he has a Metallic Rebuke but can't play it. What now, mate? Now having the Scatter to the Winds and the 2 shocks will feel pretty good. I don't like going against Tezzeret because he just has so much loyalty, but I can live with it. I hope he doesn't play another Planeswalker. That'd be the only thing I'd be very upset about, particularly 6 mana Chandra. Okay, I'll accept that. I'll accept that. Alright. We're running out of cards. We definitely need to draw. I don't want to counterspell anything this turn particularly either. But I will. If you make me, I will. I'd rather just make a bunch of Dynavolt Towers at this point. Planeswalkers I have to counterspell, just because I don't have any cards in hand. If I had a bunch of spells, I would just kill them with the Dynavolt Towers. I guess it depends on which Planeswalker. Alright, so we're getting close to Metalwork Colossus territory here. Let's get a Telling Time off the top. Yeah, Telling Time off the top. Telling Time off the top. That's what that is. It's a Telling Time. We're going to leave the Scatter plus Metallic Rebuke pay for shit, okay? So he's ditched his Metallic Rebuke now. We don't really need to cast anything. Ever. We don't need to attack ever. We don't need to even build up energy ever. All we have to do is just make sure that Metalwork Colossus doesn't swing twice at us, and that's it. It's our only job. And to do that, we're going to get what cards? Oh, lands? I hate those. We're going to reach the point pretty soon where we can attack. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Now's not the time. This might actually, strangely, if we draw enough lands, might be the one game, the first game I've ever won with making mechanized eight Dynavolt Towers with Mechanized Production. Certainly never once happened before. I've always had enough to burn them by the time I got to 6. But he is at 22, so we'll see. I actually love this game. I know that this feels like a game we can't lose right now, but like it's just pretty funny. Just doing nothing and letting this Mechanized Production win the game. I mean, there's nothing in Grixis that can do anything except for Confiscation Coup taking this Dynavolt Tower away. That was not a good draw. It was not a good draw at all. Alright. Well, we can get 23 energy off a Scatter. That lets us burn for 12, so we can actually just kill a Metalwork Colossus in addition to scattershotting, or Scatter to the Winding it. We could Awaken, but It's risky before you get 9 lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So next turn we can awaken Scatter to the Winds pretty safely. Against Metallic Rebuke anyway. This guy's just digging, trying to find the answer. I don't think he's going to get it. Some more life. Not sure why he uses this one. This is a bad one. Should use the red one. Gaining life doesn't mean shit for him. We could use servo schematics or something at least. I like servo schematic with Metalwork Colossus anyway, because you can, if the Metalwork Colossus hits the graveyard, you can sacrifice servo schematic to get it out, and you make a servo out of it. Like, it's pretty value for that particular strategy. I'm wondering if I'm going to get to do this. I've never gotten to do this during upkeep. This really is a bonus round. Oh yeah, we'll be doing that. He does not have the mana for Metallic Rebuke, so we can just get him. I'd really enjoy drawing a spell, particularly a draw spell. We're gonna do it. We're gonna stay in this thing. When I have a chance to mechanize production, alternate win con to win, I'm staying. We can do 12 right now, so he's effectively at 12. Swing for 3, he goes to 9. If we draw a spell, he's effectively just dead before I get to mechanize production him to death, which is pretty shitty. Okay. We could also alternatively just make a million fucking Thopters. I'm going to jam it out there for the block plan. We're going to do this thing. I don't even care if I can burn him enough. I'm doing it. I could actually just burn this Metalwork Colossus, which I'm going to do, because that just seems funnier. Certainly. Bonus round, does whatever a bonus round. In the bonus round, make some towers. Bonus round, towers. Here comes the bonus round. I'm not a lyricist, I'm just an artist. This is not the way I would play this game normally. Normally I would make one Thopter to chump block with and burn him, but we're gonna win the fun way. Because that's why we're here. We're here to win the fun way. The way without vehicles, the way without planeswalkers. The way without spells. That's the way we're gonna do it. Yeah. Yeah. What now, little kid? Because I could have swung for, what, 5 there. I could have done an extra 3 last turn. So he would have been at 9. And so he would be dead right now. I would never get to do this. Like, if you get to the point where you have this many, you just never win. Like, if I had burned him to the face, I probably would have just won already anyway. If I had activated this land once and swung, you know, I mean, that's all it would have taken. Yeah. Do it. One less land. sad that people don't just play out games; they just quit. I mean, I quit sometimes, but usually I feel like I have a way out. Not that this guy did, but shit. All right, let's make an 8th tower. Oh, we won the game. Got him. This deck's fun, man. Consider Tireless Tracker. Consider Saheeli Rai. I don't know. There's always flex spots in these decks, man. Hope you enjoyed. Atma. Till next time. I'm the cat man. I'm the cat man. Skibidi-bidi-beep-beep-beep. I've got cats. You've heard them. You heard them meowing. You heard them scratching at the door. Maybe you didn't. Yeah. Should I make cat videos? Just post them on YouTube? Just like cats pawing at magic cards. Maybe like cats scratching on a tower. Does that sound fun? Would you guys like to see that? My cats playing? Yeah, you do. It's going to be a cat channel.